Now that we know how to talk about different members of our family, we are going to learn our possessive pronouns so that we can talk about how different people are related to us and related to other people. So our possessive pronouns are mi, which means my, tú, your, su, for his, her, or the usted form of you, nuestro, for our, or nuestra, with the vosotros form if it's a group of all females. Same with vosotros, we have vuestro for y'all, and vuestra for your all, or y'all, y'alls. And su, again, for our third person plural, so their or you alls with the usted form. And our possessive pronouns are singular when we're talking about singular objects. So, for example, if I wanted to say my uncle, I would say mi tío, my, me, and then tío, there's just one, so we use mi tío. So let's practice. How would you say our cousin? What about your father? Cousin is either primo or prima, so we could say nuestro prima, nuestra prima. And for our second one, tu padre, your father, we would use your tu and then padre, which is father. But let's make these sentences a little bit more interesting. So we're going to think back to our verb conjugations that we learned in our first part of this course. If you need a refresher, I'll link that video below. And let's say my mother lives in California. So remember back to our pronouns, my, me, and then mother is madre. Our verb to live is vivir, so we're going to conjugate that in the ella form because my mother would be she, right? So we're going to say, mi madre vive en California. My mother lives in California. Now it's your turn. How would you say y'all's nephew lives in Puerto Rico? Alright, so for y'all, you have two choices. You can either use vosotros or vosotras or ustedes. So let's use ustedes. So if you wanted to say y'all's nephew, we would say su sobrino, your nephew. And then again, we're going to conjugate that in the el form, the third person singular. Su sobrino vive en Puerto Rico. Alright, so those are our singular possessive pronouns. But now what if we're talking about multiple family members or anytime we're describing multiple objects, so plural objects? So, for example, if we wanted to say my grandparents, plural, we are going to need to make our possessive pronouns plural as well. And so to do that, we just add an S to the end of each of these pronouns. So if I'm talking about my grandparents, plural, I would say mis abuelos. So we're just adding that S. So I'll go through them all again. We have mis, my, tus, sus, nuestros or nuestras, vuestros or vuestras, y sus again for our third person plural. Alright, so let's practice some of these. How would you say my cousins live in Germany? Alright, so my cousins, plural, we're going to use our plural possessive pronoun, mis primos, my cousins, live in. And again, here we're going to have to conjugate our verb based on our multiple cousins, so they, right? So we would say, mis primos viven en Alemania. My cousins live in Germany. Alright, now it's your turn to try one. How would you say your aunts live in Mexico. Alright, so to say your aunts live in Mexico, we would say tus tías viven en México.